everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Today I'm going to be doing one of my first ever tags. My friend here on YouTube, her name is Valerie Dison, I believe. I don't want to say her last name wrong, but I'll be sure to put her name right here and I'll link her down below. She was gracious enough to tag me in the throwback tag. And guys, I'm so excited that I actually get to do this tag, and not just because I've never been tagged before, but because I actually think that this is a really neat tag. And I'm so grateful that Valerie tagged me. So, guys, let's jump right in because some of these answers will get a little bit wordy. I hope some of the answers will be kind of short, but some will be wordy. So let's go ahead and jump in. Guys, the first question in this tag is, what year were you born in? Well, guys, I was born in 1969, and I'm actually an August baby. I have a birthday coming up this month, and I'll be 48. So yeah, there you go. It's out there. I'm not hiding it. So I'm just really grateful to God that I've gotten to live 48 years. At one point in my life, I actually thought I wasn't going to make it very far. So at this point, I'm just grateful for every year I get. The next question in this tag is, do you have any pictures of yourself when you were younger? And if you do, show them. I don't have a lot because my mom never really enjoyed taking pictures, but I have a few, so I'll be sure to include them right about here so you guys can see me when I was a little girl. Like I said, I don't have a lot, but I'll share at least one or two. The third question is, what TV shows did you grow up watching? Well, the truth is, I love the Flintstones. In fact, as a matter of fact, I own in DVD the whole Flintstones series. I loved the Flintstones as a little girl. I loved the cartoon, and as a matter of fact, whenever I'm really stressed out and I don't want to listen to anything that's too stressful, that's one of those shows that I'll always go back to. I love the Flintstones. I also watched Scooby-Doo. I also watched the Brady Bunch. Oh my goodness, I think I've watched every episode of the Brady Bunch at least, I don't know, a million times. Is that a real number? It was just what we watched back in the 70s, and I loved them, and I do to this day. Another one, I Dream of Jeannie. I loved Bewitched. I loved I Dream of Jeannie. I loved both of those shows. And guys, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman. That's all I have to say about that. So yeah, those were the shows I watched when I was a little girl. What did you want to be when you grew up, and do you still want to be that? When I was a little girl, I always wanted to be an attorney, and as a matter of fact, when I went to college, my intention was to do my first 4 years as a social worker and then to go on into law school. I had certain things happen in my life that kind of prevented it. I got married young. I ended up getting sick when I was kind of young, and it was a prolonged illness. So I was very grateful that, you know, I did finish my bachelor's in social work, and I got to be a social worker for several years. Question number 5. Show a video of yourself when you were younger. Guys, we didn't have video back up in that day. We had what, is it 8 millimeter? We had 8 millimeter film, and my mom and dad, they didn't use that medium. We also had slides, the slide carousels, and we didn't have that either. I mean, I'm pretty sure that out there, the Kimballs probably have me in video somewhere, but we didn't have any of that at my house. Question number 6. What were your favorite toys to play with? Oh, guys, I'm a Barbie girl. I was a Barbie girl. I love Barbie girls. I have a funny story. My friend, and she's like my cousin to me, her name is Teresa. We would spend hours playing Barbies, and we would set up houses like with shoe boxes, and you know, we would take books and open them up, and we would just create this massive town on our bedroom floors, and we would make the beds for the Barbies out of Kotexes, out of pads. And so the story goes that we were busy creating this house, and we took my aunt's last pads, and so she went to go get her pads, and they were, you know, they were the mattresses for our Barbies. So yeah, you know, back in those days they were kind of thick, so they made perfect beds. What's the most embarrassing thing that you can remember doing? Oh, that's kind of embarrassing, right? To take someone's maxi pads and use them as Barbie beds. But no, actually, that's not the most embarrassing thing. When I was very little, I must have been between the age of 3 and 4, I was taking a shower with my mom, and I have an aunt who used to wear a lot of wigs. And so when I would go visit her house, she would have all her wigs laid out on her dresser, right? And so I knew that there was such a thing as hair that didn't grow on your head. And so I was taking a shower with my mom, and I asked her if she could get me a wig for down there. Yes, ladies, I asked to have a wig for down there. That's my most embarrassing story. And it's actually one of those stories that in our family, it just, you know, it's told quite often. So here I am telling YouTube world. So yes, that's what I did. So go ahead and laugh. It's okay. Because I laugh at it all the time. Question number 8. Read something you wrote when you were in kindergarten. I don't have anything that I wrote when I was in kindergarten, guys. My mom didn't save anything. We have several schools and we had a lot of moves, and so I don't have anything that I wrote back when I was in kindergarten. My daughter does, because I saved quite a bit of her stuff, but I don't have anything that I did back in the day. 3 songs you loved to listen to as a child. Oh, as a child. Well, I don't have particular songs because I don't remember song names very much, but back when I was a little girl, I would say probably between the ages of 6 and maybe 5 and 6, there was a group. It was from Spain and they were called La Pandilla, and I remember that my father took me to a concert to go see them. And then as I got slightly a little bit older, menudo was a big thing in the Spanish world, and so my sister-in-law used to send me all the records, but I didn't really like them because I lived in the States, and so I really enjoyed listening to Michael Jackson back in the day. I loved him. Madonna, as she was starting out. Who else did I loved Foreigner, the band Foreigner. That was one of my favorite bands. And so, and Journey, I loved Journey back in the day. So those were the things that I listened to. Now, question number 10. What was one funny thing you dressed up as for Halloween when you were younger? All right, when I was a little girl, we didn't dress up for Halloween. My mom didn't really believe in Halloween. We didn't celebrate it. But as I gotten older, I dressed up as a 60s girl. I dressed up as a punk rocker because back in my days, that's what they were called, punk rockers. Tell a funny story of something you remember happening when you were very young. When you were young, I think one of the funny stories when I was young, that it's kind of an embarrassing story too. I was in a wedding when I think I must have been like 7 years old, and in the wedding, in the processional, I was supposed to go first as the flower girl with the ring boy, right? Well, the ring boy got freaked out, and so he would not come out. And so all the bridesmaids went through, and the time came for the bride to go. Well, I knew that as the flower girl, I had to go first because I had a job. I was a flower girl. So I grabbed him. And I pulled him down the aisle as the ring boy. I grabbed him and I pulled him down the aisle, and right before the bride went, I took off before her and we ran down the aisle and I threw all the flowers. And so it was really embarrassing. I probably ruined that poor lady's wedding. But I do remember that was so embarrassing afterwards because I thought to myself, why did you do that? But I knew I had a job, and my job was to spill flowers on the floor before the bride went. So I got my job done, but boy, was that embarrassing. Okay, so here comes my show and tell part for question number 12. Question number 12, are there any special things you kept from when you were a child? And I do. I have something that's really, really cute. So guys, this is my uniform from kindergarten and first grade. I think I was using the same size back in those days. So yeah, I went to Holy Spirit School in Puerto Rico for those 2 grades, and after that we moved to the States. So that's my uniform, and I kept it all these years after all the moves because, like I said, guys, we moved quite a bit when I was younger. Question number 13. What was something weird you used to do as a child? Well, guys, the thing that I used to do that was quite weird, and I actually have done it into adulthood. I don't do it anymore as an adult, but I used to suck my thumb. I sucked my thumb till I was like 11. I had issues. But also what I would do is I would take the ends of my hair and I would rub my fingers like that to it. And I would tell you that it is just a bad habit that I developed as a child. You'll see me often do stuff like that, and I'll play with my hair, and I did that since I was a little girl. What was the scariest thing you remember that happened to you when you were younger? Well, when I was younger, unfortunately, I was in a situation where I had a gun pulled to my head. It worked itself out. It was quickly de-escalated, but yeah, I've actually had that experience. It was not fun. I do not think any child should ever have to go through anything like that, but yeah, it was part of my reality, and it's made me who I am today. So I'm very grateful that I was not harmed, or no one was harmed in the process. But yeah, I did have that experience, and it was no bueno. So yeah, it is what it is. Number 15, how is the world now different from how it was like when you were a child? Oof, can you get any different? I mean, different-er, if that's a word. I was born in 1969. I was a 70s kid, you know. we played outside still. I remember going with my friends to go play in the clay pits. I grew up, I lived several years in Pensacola, Florida, and there were clay pits there, and we would run up and down the clay pits. We used to live right near train tracks, and we used to run up and down the train tracks. And so playing outside was very much everyday activity. You don't see as many kids outside playing. Also, we had TV, but we didn't have as many channels as y'all have nowadays. This whole, internet thing, that didn't exist. I think computers actually became accessible to people. Like, people would have computers in their home right around the time when I started to graduate from high school. My aunt had a computer in her house, and she was the first person I knew that had a computer. And we didn't have our own computer probably until I was probably around 20, 21, and they were very, very pricey. So seriously, guys, we had the first cell phone I had was it must have been like in 1994, somewhere around there, and it was this big old clunky shoebox kind of cell phone. So yeah, I've seen all those things go through, and it's really interesting where we are today. So guys, I think that's it. That's question number 15, right? Yeah, the world's just really different, and I just want to take a moment to thank you guys for just even watching this video. It is definitely something very different than I would normally do. So I'm so grateful that you took a moment to watch. Now I want to tag some people because Valerie tagged me, and so I'm going to tag Nosheen. She's my friend here on YouTube, and I have, that is one of the things I've loved so much about YouTube. She's all the way in England, and I feel so blessed that I, can say, tag Nosheen, you're it. I want to hear all about what you went back in the day, back when you were a little girl. And also I want to hear from Kelly Michelle. I don't know if Kelly Michelle has done a tag video yet on Throwback Tag, but if you haven't, I'm tagging you, Kelly. I want to hear more about you when you were a little girl. You've really, I tend to kind of follow a lot of the stuff she does because I really enjoy her channel. I like her a lot. She's a nice girl. And also, I'm going to share I'm going to tag my homegirl, Sherry Austin. She does Faith Fellowship Fridays, or Faith Fridays, I call them. Here on my channel on Fridays, we talk about our faith, and she is probably one of my best friends on earth at this point in my life, and I'm so grateful that she's a part of my life. So Sherry, tag, you're it. I'll include the questions down below, just like Valerie did for me. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you come back and watch some other videos on my channel. I do some beauty, I do some DIY, I love nail polish. And lastly, like I said, I have a faith series on my channel, and I would love for you guys to come back and visit. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you become part of our family. And guys, have a blessed day. Bye.